What's up, guys? This is Ty Zam again. I got the Leon, my buddy, LeonFood.com, the Oracle cryptocurrency, the Oracle of Austin, Texas, right? What's up, Leon?
Hey, what's up, Ty? Yeah.
Hey, real quick, man. I believe the reason why we're making this video, guys, is because of the latest announcement of the Department of Homeland Security, not the Department of Homeland Security, but the issue with Factom. They recently got like a $200,000 grant from the U.S. government. Now,
the Homeland Security. Yeah.
Well, let's make sure that we say that correctly, so that the audience, because this is important. Okay, it's not the Homeland Security. It's the I'm pulling this up. It's not the Homeland Security, but it's some scientific agency that is kind of like they're representing the Homeland Security.
It's a grant from the government.
Yeah, it's a here it is. I got it right here.
Okay.
Okay. So, blockchain-based Factom receives a grant, right?
Yeah.
From okay, here it is. Here it is. I'm at the Homeland Security website, the DHS.gov website, and DHS is Department of Homeland Security, and this is the Department of Homeland Security for the United States that was set up after the planes flew into the Twin Towers in New York. So they set this up. So this is the Department of Homeland Security Science and Technology Press Office. And they even put the contact person and their phone number and everything. And it says that the Department of Homeland Security Science and Technology Directorate today awarded $199,000 to Factom Incorporated, which is based in your hometown, Austin, Texas, to advance the security of digital identity for the Internet of Things devices. The project is titled Blockchain Software to Prove the Integrity of Captured Data from Border Devices, right? It was awarded through Securing the Internet of Things solicitation. So basically, the government, gave, okay, so here's what we want to avoid, okay? We're not going to get into the technical details of what is the Internet of Things or the digital identity for the Internet of Things. That's not what is important, guys. What's important is that the Department of Homeland Security's Science and Technology, basically their Science and Technology Department, has awarded $200,000 to Factom. Now, this is a huge thing, guys. This is a huge thing. And I believe that it's a sleeper. It's a sleeper coin. And in case you're outside the United States of America, right, a sleeper is any time something is hidden or is asleep and the public is not aware of it, okay? And I believe that with all this mess with the Dow attack, the counterattack, the white hat attack, and all this stuff going on with the Dow and the Ethereum, people are losing sight of something that's actually legitimate, in my opinion. And before we go any further, guys, I want to make a quick disclaimer, okay? I am invested in the Factom for a while now, so it's not like it's something new I just jumped on, okay? And so is Leon. We both got a small position in this thing, and I want you guys to be aware of something. We both have a small position in Factom, so there is going to be some bias. When you guys listen to this, just be aware that there is a bias because we are invested in it. So we obviously want it to succeed, okay? The second bias that we have is that Leon lives in Austin and I am an Austin native. We both love the city. We both believe that's like one of the greatest cities you can possibly live in America, right? Leon moved from New York City, from Manhattan, right? Living in downtown Manhattan to come and live in Austin, Texas. And in my personal opinion, I have traveled and worked in every major city in America, and I believe that Austin, Texas is the second best city to live in America.
And
okay?
I'll make one more disclaimer, Ty.
Yeah.
Factom Inc. also sponsors a weekly Bitcoin meetup at their office in Mopac, so I know these guys too.
Yeah,
and I talk to these guys.
Okay, so you attend their meetup. You see these guys at their meetup, and just so you guys know, Mopac is a highway that is in the city of Austin, Texas. so that there's no confusion. Okay? So, okay, now that we got the disclaimers out of the way, I'm going to give some pointers of what I believe is going to happen, and then you share your thoughts, okay? Because people have been complaining about me cutting into you for some reason. They never complain about you cutting into me. Okay? Sure. So I don't know why, but I think that's what makes us popular is because I'm asking you the questions that I think that the viewers want to hear, and there's always a few complainers that say that, I keep cutting into you. So I'm going to say my thoughts first, and then you say your thoughts. So that way we don't have anybody complaining about it, okay? So because they got the $200,000 grant, right, this is my thoughts. And I have very good experience, okay, around government procurement. Government procurement is the process in which the government buys a product or a service, okay? If you're outside the United States or if you are in the United States and you are not familiar with how the government works, they are lazy. They're very lazy when it comes to buying something. The procurement office is the office that is responsible for buying stuff, right? For the business or for their department. So if somebody has to order the firearms, the bulletproof vests, the radar scanners, the cars, the trucks, the vans, the bulletproof vests, the bullets, the ammunition, the spy equipment, everything that the Homeland Security needs to use. Somebody has to order it, and it's done in the procurement office. And the way that the procurement office works is like this. They're lazy. They don't like to do research. Anytime somebody else can do the research for them, they'll do it. And when they order something, let's just say that Factom ends up doing what they promised to do for the Department of Homeland Security. What they'll do is somebody in the FBI, somebody in the CIA, somebody in the Secret Service, somebody in the IRS, there will be other departments within the United States government. They will talk to each other. The procurement officers will talk to each other. They'll call each other, they're buddies, They go to the same conferences. They go to the same meetings. And they'll talk to each other and go, let's say that I'm a procurement officer for the Homeland Security and you are the procurement officer for the CIA or the FBI. When we see each other, right, hey, man, where do you order the best recliner chairs or the best office desk or the best coffee maker or whatever, right? Somewhere along the line, they're going to ask each other, hey, what are you using to protect the integrity or prove the integrity of your data? And if you tell me that you're using Factom, guess what I'm going to use?
Yeah.
I'm going to go use Factom because if it's good enough for the Homeland Security, it must be good enough for the FBI. And if the FBI uses it and their procurement officer goes and sees it and they see it, for the CIA, they're going to say, what you guys using? Well, if the Homeland Security is using Factom as their identity software or whatever, to prove the integrity of their data, and the FBI is using it, and the CIA is using it, and then all the Department of Homeland Security, then it must be, if it's good enough for them, it must be good for us. And that's how lazy folks work. They rely on, and it's not even so much lazy, maybe that's a little bit harsh word, but they use the collective wisdom of other people. Right? Just like, when you guys are listening to me and Leon to see which cryptocurrency to invest in, you're using the collective wisdom of other people. Right? You're using the collective wisdom of the Oracle cryptocurrency, of us to help you guys select the right cryptocurrency to invest in. This is no different. And I know it seems far-fetched, but that's just the reality of how it works. And I'll give you guys an example. I was working at a government place where they used to manufacture signs, street signs for the streets, right? And they needed to order some plywood so that they can manufacture the sign. The plywood was a special type of plywood where on one side was smooth and it had some special coating on it so they can print the letters for the signs. And on the other side, it did not have to be smooth. It can just be wood. But on the smooth side, there was a special type of coating that they put on there, right? And it was black. It's the only time I've ever seen black plywood, okay? And the procurement officer at the place that I worked at, she called up another place and asked him where did they buy their plywood from? And they said they bought it from some place out in Florida from some 60-year-old Hispanic woman who had a contract with the government as a minority business owner. And so she was the first in line to sell the black plywood to these sign manufacturers, right? These government sign that was producing these signs for the government. And our procurement officer just ordered it from her. And when I asked her, I said, did you check to see if somebody else had cheaper black plywood? She goes, no. And I go, well, don't you think that we can save some money? Because we're buying several thousand sheets of this plywood, and they cost like $100, close to $80, $90, I forget. It was like $80, $90 a sheet. And I said, you know, if we save like $5 or $6 on a sheet of plywood, that adds up. And she goes, who cares? I mean, this is where so-and-so bought it from. It's good enough for them. It's good enough for us. And she just ordered it, right? So that's what I think. And on top of that is that usually the government will test small. They'll give you a small grant just to see, and if you can prove the proof of concept, what they will do is they'll add more. They'll give you more money, right? So if they give you $200,000 and you prove that it works, they'll give you more. And it's not that hard. Like if you do what you said you were going to do for the Homeland Security, even if they don't give you no more money, if you take the same proposal and you submit it to the FBI and to the CIA and to the DEA or something, guess what they're going to do? If you can show that your software works for their department too, guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you the same grant or more, right? So and if you notice, every time Factom raises money, right? Every time they raise money, okay, there's a spike in price on their token. However, it's a sleeper because no one ever pays attention to it because it's just a small company out of Austin, Texas, and people don't think it's a big deal because they're so obsessed with all the Ethereum project because Ethereum has more hype right now, so they lose the limelight. They're in the shadows right now. So that's my main thought when it comes to the grant that Factom the $200,000 grant, the $199,000 grant that Factom received from the Department of Homeland Security's Science Office. I think that's a huge thing. That to me, that's a sleeper right there. You know. Okay, yeah, it's your turn now.
To me it sounds like because I am aware of like how government works. It's it does open a relationship between Factom and the U.S. government, right? And I think that's a big opening. If they can develop that relationship, that could be a huge source of revenue in the future. We kind of know how much money the government spends on things, right? The whole $600 toilet seats, or $500 hammers we've heard about, right? So yeah, I think that this is a big win for Factom, and I think that this it's unusual that the market is letting us, after a big announcement like this, that the market's letting us, there was a huge 50% spike, and I guess it's almost back down to where it was before, right, Tommy? Looking at the charts.
Yeah, and it's funny that it's interesting that you say that the market, it's not often that there's good news and there's a spike in price, and then the market gives you an opportunity to get in before there's a run-up in price. And keep in mind, guys, we don't know there's going to be a run-up in price, but here's the thing. The formula, right, the formula that Leon and I use, right, the super-duper secret, hyper-secret formula that LeonFu.com and I use to filter out which cryptocurrencies to invest in, it gives us high marks on all the criteria that we look at before we invest in a cryptocurrency, right? It's a legitimate company. It's not just a fad or a hype. It's a legitimate company, and they have a product and a service that is actually legit, and they have, what's that girl's name? Tiana Lawrence? Yeah. Which is their chief marketing officer, and she is running around promoting the hell out of Factom at every conference. I mean, you see her everywhere at different conferences. If you add up all the conferences and all the speeches that she's done to promote Factom, to me, that is like throwing, what do you call that? It's like it's bubbling. You know how like when you put when I heat up water in the microwave, right? To heat up a cup of water. So like when I drink coffee, guys, I like to drink instant coffee, right? So I just put hot water in a cup, put a little milk in there, and I heat up in the microwave for 2 minutes. Well, for 1 minute and 50 seconds, right? I don't see anything happening to the water that I'm heating up. And all of a sudden, the last 10 seconds, it starts bubbling and boom, it pours over. So I've messed up the microwave so many times. I've spilled in the microwave so many times that I have it dialed down now to where I know it's exactly 2 minutes. If I let it go to 2 minutes and 5 seconds, it spills over and there's a mess inside the microwave, right? So
yeah, and we can see this, Ty, because Factom raised I think a total of $3 million to date so far, right?
Yeah.
And you can look at the charts, they had raised about 500,000. The market did nothing. Then they raised $1 million. The market did nothing. And then they raised 500,000, and the market did nothing. And then finally they raised 1.5 million from a VC, and then it jumped, right? For 6 to 8 months. It was almost like if you look at the charts, it was at 10 cents most of last year, right? All the way up until December, I think it was last year. But they came out with several announcements, right? I mean, they got this partnership, they got that partnership, and just kept on saying 6 to 10 cents and nothing, and then kind of the last announcement. So Factom has had a history of doing this, where before the DHS grant, there was that partnership in China called Rongdu, I think it was. And we saw the same thing, right? It was apparently a big partnership in China, and they spiked and then came all the way back down and did nothing. And we might get a few more. What I'm trying to say is we might get a few more of these news before the market finally gives them the value that they're worth.
Yeah. I think that like the coffee, boiling the coffee, the hot water in the microwave example that I just gave, You know how when you're sitting there watching if you're an idiot like I am and you sit there and stick your face in the microwave and to watch the water boil and absorb all that radiation into your face, I don't know, they say there's radiation coming out, but at my point, at this stage in my life, it probably doesn't even matter, All the retard cells in my brain are already there, so I don't think it's going to make it worse. But here's the thing. Sure. When I got in at 240,000 Satoshis back before they had made that big Chinese announcement, and it ran all the way up to 869,000 Satoshis. So from 240, it was around 230,000 Satoshis, and it ran up to all the way up to 869,000 Satoshis. Okay, so I made 100% profit on my investment during that time on Factom. I made 100. It was somewhere close to 110% profit on it, and then it was running up so fast that I just took profit. When it started pulling back, I got out and took profits. If I would have gotten out near the top, I would have probably had close to 200, more than that. Okay, probably more than 150% profit. But I got out when it started pulling back. I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. When you make 100% profit in I think it was in less than a week. I think it was somewhere around a week, between a week to 2 weeks, I made 100% and something profit. So I got out, right? And I got back in once or twice more after that, but I got stopped out because it was not going in my favor. So I just took a small loss and got out. But this time, right? These announcements, and here's the thing that I want to share with, I want to bring up to you too, Leon, is that when they announced the $199,000 grant that they got from the Department of Homeland Security, there is the way that they announced it, to me, is very unique. Okay, and I don't know if you noticed this, but they announced it on the Department of Homeland Security website. It was not.
Factom didn't announce it.
Yeah, Factom did not even announce it. Yeah, and to me, I am almost convinced that they must know that they got the grant, right? Because the government doesn't just announce it in public without letting you know, right? So they announced it, and here's the thing. I think there was like almost a 1.5 day delay before it showed up on the Factom site or on the Factom Twitter feed. Because I keep track of them on their Twitter feed. You know, I'm one of their Twitter followers, so that's how I keep track of their news and stuff, right? And it didn't even show up on their Twitter feed until like a day later. And that might seem like it's not a big deal to a lot of people, right? But to me, it makes a big deal because you look at every cryptocurrency, man, as soon as their grandmother has a birthday, they announce it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they announce everything. Like, hey, you know, Vitalik just farted. Oh, look, you know, it's his birthday. Boom, they announce it in the media. Hey, you know, he just got a haircut. Boom, they announce it. They announce every damn thing about every cryptocurrency. If a cryptocurrency got featured on some lame magazine that nobody even reads, you know, they announce it. They make a PR release about it, right? Sure. And this one is a legitimate grant from the Department of Homeland Security. And if you guys want to know what the Department of Homeland Security is, if you ever come into the United States and you go through the airports, they're the ones that are checking you and scanning you. You go through the security and all the people in black and blue. That's that's the Department of Homeland. Right? Yeah, the TSA is under the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, so in case you guys don't know what the Department of Homeland Security is, that's what they do. Okay, now, so because of that, they didn't. So I'm thinking in my mind, right? I'm thinking in my mind like this, Leon, and I want your thoughts on this, right? Is it because they got so much under wraps that's coming out? Is there so many big things boiling underneath at Factom that the public does not know about, that they don't even care? Like you know how like if you got so many things going on that's got, you know, big things going on, that you don't even care about making a big fuss, making a big announcement over a $199,000 grant you got from the Department of Homeland Security.
Granted, that is a very small grant, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
It's a small grant, but check this out. How many cryptocurrencies has received funding from a legitimate government agency?
None that
I know of. Yeah. I don't know of any.
And they have other things that they actually have some paying clients too. They have paying customers, right? And there's very few. I don't know if any other cryptocurrency projects that have paying customers. You know, such as the Homeland Security, such as the partnerships they announced last month with Rongu in China, right?
Yeah.
So, there's not. I'm at the moment I can't think of any, but yeah, there are very few.
Yeah. So here's another thing. So the first reason, I know I went on about the $199,000 grant, but I think it's a big deal because if it's any other cryptocurrency, they'd be shouting at the rafters about, you know, how they got funded by the government. Okay? And Factom just released it. It's not a big deal, you know. But here's the thing. So if it's not a big deal to them, what else do they have cooking? That's my question. What else are they cooking at their headquarters that they're not telling the public or the public doesn't know about? What else could they be cooking up, you know? So I believe that they have the coffee brewing effect, man. Is that, hey, it's warming up, and all of a sudden it's just gonna burst, okay, and overflow, okay, and that's why
I think we're kind of I'm expecting a move similar, not the move that happened a couple of months ago where it went up, like you said, to 85 millibits and crashed. I mean, more along the lines of something that happened in December. Right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the charts, because for a long time Factom was very thinly traded and sitting under 10 cents. You know, 10 cents or less. For a very long time, and then finally, you know, made its move. You know, did a 10xer and went to $1. Right? And it's been sitting at $1 since the beginning since that huge run that we've had from December. So. I think that eventually the market right now is not giving credit right now for, you know, the partnerships and the customers that they're getting and they're announcing. Right?
Because all they need is one partner to blow up. I mean, to like really explode, like to do well.
They only need one.
They only need one.
And also, we're looking at this at, investing is all about risk versus reward, right? And I'm looking at. We're looking at the I'm looking at the fundamentals, and then I can see that they're only at about what is it now, a $9 million valuation, 8, 9, 10, something like that.
Yeah, last week we discussed that there's we were looking at the last time we talked about Factom before we got caught up in the Dow and the Ethereum and everything. We were looking at a $50 million valuation. Like you did like a $50 million valuation for Factom.
Yeah, and I still think they're worth that, but you look at things like Lisk as a recent ICO that just came out, and that has a $30 million valuation, right? And they don't have paying customers, right? They don't have a product anyone uses yet, really, right? They have a few partnerships. That's about it at this moment, right? But the market's giving them I think the $30 to $40 million, it's been between 30 and 40 cents, right, for the past few weeks.
Yeah, hey, man, I gotta give you credit on that one, man. That's like one of the best calls that I've seen you make, man. I swear, that's like one of the best calls I've seen you make, man. And the thing that's impressive about that call that you made on Lisk to be between 11 to 50 cents, and it's going to average somewhere around 30 cents. If you haven't watched it, go watch the Lisk video where Leon does the prediction that it's going to be around 11 to 50 cents and settle in somewhere around 30 cent bracket right there. What's impressive about that call that I'll even get you a cup of coffee for this, man. Next time I see you, we'll go ride in your Tesla and I'll get you a cup of coffee. Okay?
Sure.
Hey, check this out. Is that you made that call and the price stuck despite the fact that Bitcoin ran all the way up to $700 and almost $800.
Yeah.
You made that call, I think, back when it was still around $400 or $500, somewhere around the 500 range, or close to the $500-600 range. It wasn't up at the $800 range, right? Mm-hmm. So that was a really good call, man. That was a really good call.
Hey, do we have time to talk about waves a bit?
Okay. Let's finish up with this Factom, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. Okay.
In a separate video.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Cool.
So here's the thing. There is another thing that I want to talk about with the Factom that I think you might have forgotten about, because we talked about it right before the show, before I hit the record button, right? Was that you said that they raised, what is it, 200,000, 500,000, and then $1 million, and
total is about $3 million. Total.
Okay, but it was in different.
$3 million.
Yeah, but it was in different chunks, right?
Yeah. It was like 500,000, $1 million, another 500,000, and then $1.5 million. I think that was the order.
Okay.
If I remember.
Okay, so they have a track record of raising money. Right? And they've done it several times already, right? So it's not luck, right? So it's not luck. Like, for example, when I was studying Taekwondo, I had my Taekwondo instructor, right? He had this 2-kick policy, right? 2 kicks to the face policy. So when he was in a Taekwondo tournament, he would always kick his opponent in the face twice in the same spot whenever he can. And I said, why do you do that? And he said the first kick was to let you know that he is capable of kicking you in the face. The second kick was to let you know that the first one was not luck.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We used to laugh when he would tell us that while he was teaching us the Taekwondo, right?
Yeah.
And that was when I was younger. Okay. So to me, when Factom has raised multiple times, they have been able to ask for money, and people felt that their business must have merit and gave them money, $500,000, million, whatever it was that they gave them, right? So if they asked for that multiple times already, and they've been sending this Tiana Lawrence all over the world, speaking about Factom. Imagine what they are raising now. Imagine the investors that they are talking to. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know. We can only speculate. We don't know.
We speculated a month ago saying 45, but that was, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's happened before, so perhaps it happens again.
Yeah. Imagine if they raise, if there's an announcement that they raise like 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, whatever it is that they raise, right? I don't know. But imagine if they come out with an announcement if they raise $5, 10, $20 million or something, or $50 million, right? What would that do to them? Okay.
Well, we know. We have a history. We can go back and look at the chart when they raised last time, right? It's not hard. We can go back and see what happened to the price when they raised money before.
Yeah. So here's
that's kind of like where we got our 10x move, right? Where it went from 10 cents to $1. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing that I'm looking at. Okay, I believe, and here's the last thing that I'm going to say to support my claim. And then I'm going to do a price prediction, a technical, because you do fundamentals. You do your price predictions based on fundamentals. I'm going to do mine based on technicals. Okay, so that's what I specialize in. So they have, and you keep hearing me talk about Tiana Lawrence. Okay, they are sending this blonde chick running around to go and promote these things, right? And so what happens is this, okay? She has what I call the halo effect. You ever heard that term before? When someone has the halo effect?
Yes.
Okay. So for any of you guys that don't know what the halo effect is, first of all, a halo is that light, that circle of light that goes around the angels in the Christian religion, right? But when it comes to people, the halo effect is an effect that somebody has, and because of their looks, because of their attractiveness, because of the way that their charisma, because of their presence, and because of these things, right, it just gets people's attention. And the thing is, I think that Paul Snow and them made a good choice to have her promoted, right? And here's the thing. She can go around, get on stage, and imagine a room at a conference where there's a room full of engineers, and they look at as if, attractive, blonde, that is promoting Factom. Let's just say that they don't know what the hell Factom is, they don't give a shit what it is, and they see this chick up on stage. What do you think the first thing that's going to come to all these software engineers' minds and all these people? Because you know that there's a bunch of nerds in that conference room. Because every time you go to a Bitcoin conference or any kind of technical or engineering conference, it's like 99% guys in there. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it's about 90% guys. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I believe what happens is this. I believe that when she gets up there on stage, because of the halo effect that she has, people are going to go look up to see what Factom is just because she's on stage.
Sure.
Right? And if she gives a good presentation, well, then that's double the whammy. It's like, hey, who's this chick up there? Right? Everybody's checking her out. And then she's talking about some technical stuff, and she actually knows what she's talking about. Then that's just a double whammy. That's why I call it the halo effect.
Yeah.
Because she has to look to get the people's attention to look at Factom. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I've seen a couple of her technical stuff, so she does know what she's talking about. So, and the other thing, too, is that Factom, I hate to say this, but some of the best solutions out there and the best products out there are simple stuff, right? It's not that hard to explain what Factom does, right? Like I explained to a friend of mine in New York, he was completely against cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins, and everything. And I showed him the video, the Factom video about how they record land titles and properties. Instantly, he was converted. Instantly.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, that makes total sense. He goes, man, every time, yeah, because he was in real estate, and he goes, dude, you know how long it takes to close and do all the paperwork and do all the titles and all that for a property? He goes, in New York, there's like a foot tall stack of paperwork you have to do just to buy a house.
Yeah.
Right? Instantly. So whenever you have a product where people can instantly identify with or understand what the solution that it provides, it's so much easier to sell it and market it.
Sure.
Okay? So I'm going to wrap it up with my price prediction here. You ready for this? Okay.
All right, man.
This is my price prediction, right? As long as, and this is a caveat, right? I'm not making the price prediction based on U.S. dollars. I'm making the price prediction in Bitcoin terms, okay? Right now, as we're speaking, it's hovering right around 185,000 Satoshis, somewhere around there, okay? I predict that before the end of the year, that we will be back up to around the 800, 900,000 Satoshi area. In other words, we are going to be near the all-time highs, or we're going to break the all-time highs. We're going to be around there by the end of this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I would put my my prediction around there, maybe a little lower, 700 to 900,000, somewhere around there.
Okay. I'm going to put it, because the all-time highs was 869,000 Satoshi. I'm going to put that by the end of this year, it's going to be above 800,000 Satoshi. Minimum. Okay. I don't know how high it's going to go, but at minimum, it's going to reach to 800,000 Satoshis. Okay? And if I'm off by a few hundred Satoshis or a couple of thousand Satoshis, guys, don't jump on my ass about it, okay? Okay? Come on. If you make 105% instead of 108% profits, don't jump on my ass about it, okay? Okay? And so right now, however, remember I said that this is in Bitcoin terms. This is in Bitcoin terms, okay? Yeah. This is not in U.S. dollar terms. So if the price of Bitcoin runs up to $5,000 by the end of the year, then obviously that's going to change that. That's going to change that. And obviously, if Bitcoin runs up to $5,000 or something, some crazy number like that, right? Then obviously the 800,000 Satoshi range is not going to be valid but it will do the equivalent in U.S. terms. So, like right now,
so I'm going to make a prediction in, say, U.S. dollars.
Okay.
Bitcoin does that. I'll put it between. Right now we're at about $1 right now, right? In terms of U.S. dollars, I would say about between 4 and 5, probably by the end of the year.
Okay, so it's around $1.05 right now. It's around $1.05 right now. Okay, it's around $1.05 right now. So if we go with the 180, if we take the 800,000 Satoshis and divide it by, let's just say that people are late by the time they hear this. It's probably going to be around 200,000 Satoshis or 190,000 Satoshis or 180. So let's just say 200,000 Satoshis just to be safe for the people who get to our video late, right? So 200,000 Satoshis. By the end of this year, I'm going to make a prediction that it's going to be at a minimum of 800,000 Satoshis based on the fundamentals and on the technical data, right? Based on your fundamentals and my technicals, I'm going to call it at 800,000 Satoshi minimum. So that's a 4x return. That's a 400% profit. 400x return, okay? And so if it's $1, it's right now it's about $1.05 in US dollars. So by the end of this year, 800,000 Satoshis, if the price of Bitcoin stays the same, that would put it at like around $4 to $5.
4 to 5, yeah. I think that's a
very reasonable, conservative prediction, I think, estimate.
I think so. I would agree with that, yes.
Yeah, and if that's the case, right now they're around 10 million, they're around 9 million market cap. That would put them at around 9 times 4. That would be around 9 times 4, 36,000, 40, maybe
36 million, roughly around 36
million. 36 to 40 million, somewhere around there, close to $40 million.
Yeah, it's 36. And we can, that would, that's not very aggressive. That's about where still lower than Dash and a little bit higher than Lisk, and
Yeah.
Not too much higher than Dogecoin, right?
Yeah, and the fact that they actually have a working product versus Lisk. Lisk does not have a working product yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it does not have a working product. There's no reason why Factom should be less than Lisk or Wave. Lisk is at 34 million valuation, 34 million market cap. Wave is at 18 million market cap. There's no reason for that because, I mean, I'm not saying there's not a reason for that. I'm just saying that there's no reason for Factom to be at a lower value than Lisk or Wave when they actually have a working product already.
Yeah.
Not only do they have they actually have working product, they have partners, and they have government grants, and they got somebody running around every conference promoting them. So, so you got everything that you want for that cryptocurrency to succeed. So it's only I'm telling you, the water is simmering, it's heating up, and you just don't see it boiling yet, but when it does, the dams are going to break and it's just going to overflow and the microwave's going to be all flooded.
All right.
Right? Yeah. So, all right.
Then.
All right, so that will end our analysis of Factom, guys, and our price prediction for Factom. Okay? So thanks for watching this video, guys, and you guys have any questions, suggestions, or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you guys have friends or family that are looking to invest in cryptocurrencies and want to know more about it, make sure that you share with them our channel. It's the most popular channel on the internet right now for people to learn how to invest in cryptocurrencies. From Tizen and LeonFu.com, okay? And LeonFu.com is not a website, guys. It's Leon's nickname that we call him, okay? The oracles of cryptocurrency. Thanks, guys.